Brooksaw Antiques here. Today we have this 1973 Smith-Corona Galaxie 12 vintage portable typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. Up top is the adjustable paper guide. This helps you guide the page in straight. I'm going to line that up with the edge of the platen, which is the main roller that feeds the paper. And above that are the margins. I'm going to set this one around 1 or 2, and this right one around 75. That's about the length of a page. And this is the paper support arm that flips up from the back. This has a little bit longer of a carriage versus most typewriters. The Galaxie 12, that's a 12-inch platen. They do have 10-inch ones usually, so a little bit longer. This is the paper bell. It sits on top. It's got 2 adjustable rollers. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin. You hit the slide space, gets you back to the beginning. It skips 1, 2, or 3 spaces. Right now we have it on single, but if you want double, you just flip the switch back. It skips 2. 1 more, it skips 3. That works good. We're going to keep that on single for now and finish typing. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence in red on the next line. A switch from black to red is a switch on the right side here. Flip that all the way down and prints the bottom portion of the ribbon. When you have it in the middle, it doesn't print any ink at all. It just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. When you have it up top, it prints the top portion of the ribbon. So now we're going to move it down to red. Beautiful. This is one of the most popular models. Very user-friendly, and it's got a lot of cool functions that most typewriters don't have. So I'm guessing that when these came out, these were all the rage for college kids and whatnot. It's got most typewriters just come in really basic colors. This comes in, this model and other models like this come in different colors like green and blue and all kinds of different stuff. Really cool colors. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side here. You flip it forward and unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easier, load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page or else it won't load correctly. Put this down for now. Shift on each side and the shift lock on the left. Clear that, just hit the shift button again. Backspace on the left side works good. One of the cool functions is the power space. So we're gonna go to the beginning. And it just kind of like a machine gun, power spaces all the way through. And this is just a regular space. Backspace on the top left works good. To the left of that is the touch control, low, medium, and high. The higher you go, the more tension there is when you hit the keys. You got to hit them harder for them to print, but they respond faster. The lower you go, you don't have to hit them as hard, but they don't respond as fast. So faster typers would use higher tension on that. The tab is up top here. Right now we have 1 tab set right there, so we're going to clear that. And as you can see, it kind of slams all the way to the end. So I always like to set one on all typewriters right here in the middle somewhere, so that way when it gets hit the next time, it stops at that tab instead of going slamming all the way to the end, causing wear and tear to your typewriter. And you can set as many tabs as you want on this model. I'm gonna flip this back up to black, so the next time we print black. Another cool function is that it has 2 custom keys, 1 on each side. These little caps will come off on just the top ends here. So most typewriters don't have a 1 or exclamation point. You would use the L for 1, and the exclamation point is with the apostrophe and a backspace and a period. So what you do is I don't know if they, I mean obviously they don't make these anymore, but if you can find custom keys, they have a cap on the key on the type bar right on top here, and you just replace that and you replace that cap to get custom keys. Pretty cool. Another cool function is this little down. So when your key gets stuck, you push this to push it down. So that way, I guess, so you don't have to touch the ink and get ink on your hands when you're trying to pull that down or whatever. The top spool cover slides to the front so you can access the spools. This is all the brand new ribbons loaded on this left side, so it's pulling to the right. And if you want to switch that direction, there's a little switch right here. You flip that back and it'll start pulling counterclockwise to the left. You flip it forward or up, it'll pull clockwise to the right, and that's what we want right now. MR stands for margin release. You get to the end of the margin, there's a mechanism that stops you from typing, and if you hit that MR button, it'll allow you to go all the way to the end. That works good. Carriage release on each side, and if you watch any of my videos, you'll hear me say that this is the one design flaw on these, is that these carriage release levers are made out of plastic, hard plastic, so they do break every now and then. Sometimes when you put them in the case, they'll break right in half. So they don't make them anymore, but I do 3D print these replicas. If you need some, check out my shop. And this is your carriage lock, so you pull it up, and this little thing, I'll show you this, how that works in a second. This is your carriage lock. You lift it up and it locks the carriage in the middle, so when you have it in the case, it doesn't slam around in there. And if you flip this little panel back and move the paper belt out of the way, there's a little lever right here where my thumb is, and it unlocks the platen, so you can get inside there. If you got like a paper jam or you just want to clean it out or whatever, you can pull that off. Most typewriters don't allow you to do that. You have to do a major operation to get the platen removed, and that just snaps right back in there like that, and this snaps down. Carriage release on this side. This one has both original carriage release levers. They didn't snap off yet. And if you push in this button, it'll disable the spacing when you turn the platen knob, so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You let it go. You get those clicks. Each one of those clicks is one space. And the same concept with this little lever on the inside here. You push it down, and it's like a permanent disable of the spacing. And you push it up, you get those clicks. And another cool function of this is the page gauge. So this little gauge, if you load it in on around 11, which is where this little line is, this indentation, it'll tell you exactly when you get to the end of the page on this right side here, or this left side, the end. So it'll tell you when you're getting close to the end of the page when you're typing to the bottom. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.